Happy Camper Radio starts in 3, 2, 1. It is the Happy Camper Radio Show, and we are so glad to have you back. I'm Skip. I am a happy camper. And yes, my friends, you can be one too. We're back here in the studio, and I mean Mr. Wonderful has returned. Hello there,
Mr.
Daniel.
Wonderful. Sounds like my wrestling name.
You're pulling your disappearing act again, aren't you? I had no earthly idea where you were last week.
We were dancing. Lots of dancing. We do ballroom dancing. And we had a party on Saturday.
No, that was tap dancing, Daniel.
It wasn't tap dancing. It's ballroom dancing.
I just have too much fun with that, I've got to admit. Yeah, but anyway, it's good to have you back again, and we're just a couple weeks away from the Thanksgiving holiday season. That means you are going to pull your month-long disappearing act, aren't you? It's going to be time for you to deliver the mail like you did last year.
Well, hopefully it won't be too bad.
You were working 7 days a week last year, weren't you?
It was, close to it.
Wow.
Ugh.
It's no wonder you were tired and exhausted.
Yeah, and now the time has changed. Ugh. Oh,
hey, I love it.
Oh,
I love it getting early at night.
Always dark.
Oh, it's just absolutely wonderful to me.
Yeah.
I just, it starts bringing in the festive spirit, and it starts bringing in the camping spirit. And Daniel, this time of year, I just get all pumped up about things like this. It's just so exciting to me.
Me and Deidre had to talk about this. In the summertime, you have a fire, and it's all about the ambiance. Wintertime, you have a fire, it's all about the fire and not dying.
Are you planning a camping trip anytime soon?
No, but we did go to the Carolina Renaissance Fair yesterday.
You did,
and that was very, very cool.
I tend to
Didn't
believe
go camping.
I tend to believe that you have a camping trip lined up, because it was no more than a week ago you two had the pop-up camper up for about 10 to 15 minutes, and
we did.
I was out there working on something else, but you two were going at it over something inside there.
Yeah.
You had a big disagreement about. I don't need to know what it is.
I'll tell you.
Okay,
No big deal.
That'll be fine.
Okay, basically, we had to get our sink replaced a couple times, and when I took it to Pico, they forgot to take the top off, because you have to take it off before it gets rolled down, and they forgot to do it, and it broke, and she was a little perturbed, and so, we
What she was probably upset about was the fact that she was going to have to do the dishes.
No,
and not you.
No, we took it back, they fixed it, and we came back. It was just kind of a hassle, so no, we're going to go to a camping show this weekend, because the reason we put it up is because we want to sell it.
Oh, okay.
We need to upgrade.
Well, I totally can go along with that, and I know you've had that upgrade dream in your back of your head there for a long time.
I've been talking about it for a while. We got options, but I don't know. That's a good. Well, let me just put it out there. So we wanted here's our choice: a pop-up, a hybrid, or a hard side. You know what a hybrid is, Skip?
Yeah.
We like the hybrid because it doesn't take up that much room, and we could just pull into a camp spot, and if it's raining or whatever, we just, go in and that's it. And, that we have that space, but we're just worried about towing it in the mountains, and we like pop-ups, but I just don't know.
Well, speaking of rain and the mountains, I've got a trip planned this weekend.
Oh.
Yeah, weather permitting. Last month, when we planned on a big camping trip, I had taken a couple extra days off of work.
Yeah.
And it was 100% chance of showers and thunderstorms all 4 days.
I think it'll be okay this weekend.
I hope so.
Seems to be dry a lot in wintertime.
Unfortunately, I cannot get the time off like I did last month, but as long as I can go up there and have a good time and be able to relax, and I am just dying to hook up that new pull-along trailer. Loaded full of firewood, and that's something else that I am really looking forward to doing, is hauling a big load of wood up there.
There you go.
And just sitting back for a couple days and fellowshipping with a lot of my good friends and retired buddies, and doing what we do best each and every year at this time. Hopefully it will take place, and I will have a full report if I don't decide to do the show up there I'm still kicking that in the back of my head, but we'll see what happens next week. Our phone number here at the Happy Camper Radio Show is 404-537-CAMP. You can like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at Camp Talker, and add us to your circles on Google+. Of course, you can access any one of our social media sites and do that very simply by going to www.happycamperradio.com. And while you're there, make sure you click the RSS feed button like I always say. And this way you can subscribe to the show and never miss a single episode. Daniel, we've got some shout-outs to some newcomers here. We have, first of all, to Caravan Man, the Fit RV, and also to Hidden Valley RV Park in Texas. They're all following us on Twitter. And we also want to say hello to Doug Russell from Perry, New York, and the fine folks over at Deployment Essentials, and they are following us on, or they are adding us to circles, this week on Google+. So thank you all for joining us and being a part of this great Happy Camper Radio family. Hey, do you want to be a guest on our show? That's very simple to do.
Oh.
Yeah, you can sit here and chat with Daniel and I. And if you've got camping on your mind, we definitely would love to hear from you. All you've got to do is send us an email. Start with me, Skip, S-K-I-P, at happycamperradio.com. And this guy sitting next to me,
Daniel at happycamperradio.com.
One of the easiest things for you to do, though, is just to sign up for a Google Plus account. And once you do that, make sure that you add Happy Camper Radio to your circles. Because what will happen is when we open the window for folks to call into the show, one of the very first things we're going to do is send out invitations via Google+. So there you have it. You know, if you want to be on the show, Daniel and I would love to talk to you. And, you know, just anything that's on your mind in the world of camping. Talk about maybe that new pop-up you bought or that new expensive travel trailer.
You can give me opinions on what do you think I should do. Get a hard side, a hybrid, or
there
a
you
pop-up.
go. There you go. So, hey, it's a great opportunity for you to go ahead and check in. And if you don't want to be on the show and you just want to go ahead and give a shout-out to Daniel and I, just pick up the phone and call us, 404-537-CAMP. That's 404-537-CAMP 2267. Daniel, today we are going to talk about inventory and camping supplies. This is something I think you could take a lesson from. Maybe not. I don't know. You know, I am a stickler when it comes to preparation, Daniel.
Yep.
All right. Nothing can be out of place. I will go absolutely out of my mind if I end up going to a campground and finding out that I forgot something, I didn't replenish something in my camping supply boxes, and I have to get up out of my camp recliner away from that comfortable fire and go out and get that item. See, I can't run around like you. I am not Speedy Gonzalez. I am not somebody who is going to be running around and taking in all these sites and tours and all this other stuff. You know, it's relaxation time for me when I get to camp. It's going to be important for everybody who thinks along the same lines as me to be in a state of readiness. And that means having your gear packed and ready to go. That's being prepared. That is the key, Daniel. And I tend to believe that you are prepared in some ways because when you first brought that pop-up camper, which you bought used, and there's nothing wrong with that. All right. You know, I watched you show it off. I watched you open that broken front compartment, which you later on did get fixed.
Oh, yeah.
But you had a load of stuff in there.
Oh, yeah.
You had plenty of storage, and you were utilizing that space.
Yep.
So, you know, you do have a lot of things already inside your pop-up camper, and it's in a state of readiness. I'm sure there are some things that you want to pack at home to take along with you. But for folks, you know, if you follow these guidelines here, and you're a big-time camper like me, and you've got it in your blood, and you just want to get engaged in a camping weekend with your family or friends and do it at the last minute, you know, you follow my lead, and I guarantee you can't go wrong because you can be out the door in less than 30 minutes and be on the road from start to finish. It's as simple as that. By being prepared, you're going to have less time going around and shopping for last-minute items, running here, running there, getting the car checked out, doing this, doing that, making sure the family is ready. You know, if you take the time to prepare ahead of time, all right, this is going to allow you to head out the door, and like I say, maybe a half hour, maybe an hour. But, you know, you're going to be able to keep things organized. And there's only two tasks that are going to remain in the back of your mind and in the back of your family's mind, too. And these are things that you have got to do before you go. Say you've taken all your gear and you've already loaded it into your vehicle, whether you have a hatchback, whether you have a compact vehicle like your wife drives. Maybe you have a pickup truck with a cap on the back of it. And I know you've got plenty of storage space back there.
Right.
All right. But you're going to have two other tasks that will remain. And that includes, number one, packing your clothes. Guys, Daniel, it's you and I, it's very easy. You know, we just throw a few clothes in a bag and out the door we go. But, I mean, if it's somebody like your wife or somebody like Betty Crocker here at the house, I mean, it's going to take a little while longer for them to prepare because they're going to have to bring basically the kitchen sink.
Okay.
You know, okay.
Sure.
And the kitchen sink obviously was the issue last week with you.
Oh, boy.
So, no, hey, that was perfect. That was perfect timing for me to throw it in there. So, yeah, you know, as long as you can go ahead and allow yourself some adequate time to go ahead and prepare those things, you'll be all right. The second and most important thing here, Daniel, is shopping for food. Make sure you load your cooler. You can always buy something at the campground convenience store if you want, but again, more time away from camp. And if you wait till the last minute and you go to a local convenience store, whether it be at the campground or maybe, say, in that area somewhere, you're going to pay through the nose, and you know that.
We always go to a Walmart or something around where we're happen.
But
so we don't have to load up in the cooler. We'll just
but Daniel,
bring a cooler.
They are not everywhere.
Well, they're where I go.
Okay.
So
yeah, but I can promise you some of the destinations that I have been to. I can remember one up in Virginia, and Daniel, for the life of me, I don't even know why I'm bringing this up because it's going to be on my mind all night long. There is a small campground that we went to, and I've got pictures somewhere. I'm going to have to dig them out. But my brother, my brother-in-law, one of my buddies, we went up there, and this little destination was best described as Virginia's best-kept secret. And it was a mountaintop campground high up above the mountain somewhere, and the weather was perfect. You could overlook the valleys and the rolling hills, and you couldn't ask for anything better. And we got up there just in time because up until the time we arrived, you could camp there for free. But then they went ahead and decided, well, you know, we need to make some money off this, and understandably so. You know, it does cost money to maintain these properties. So what they did is they installed a self-pay station. And the ranger that put it in place, we were actually one of two campers that were left there when they put the self-pay station in. But he came over to us and he said, look, you were already here before this started, so, you know, stay as long as you planned on staying. Don't worry about it. If anybody comes up and gives you a problem, here's my name, here's my card. You tell them I said it was okay. Okay. But I'll tell you, it would be worth even going back there again. And just to spend some time, and I don't care what the cost was. Maybe it was $10, $20 a night, but it would be well worth it. All right. So, you know, as long as you go ahead and allow yourself time to pack your clothes and go shopping locally for food, you're going to be good to go. And again, you could be on the road in as little as a half hour, maybe an hour. Now, let's talk about storing your camping gear at home. This requires very little space. You could generally store your gear in the garage, where I store mine, maybe in the basement, and depending upon how much gear you have, you could even store it in a hall closet. Keep in mind that not everybody brings the amount of gear to a campground that I bring.
Yes, that is very true.
I have a reason for that, Daniel, and I'll get into that in just a little bit. Some campers bring very little. My brother-in-law, I'll tell you a perfect example. He shows up in this little one-man tent. He's, you know, it's real low to the ground. He can climb in it. There's no room for anybody else. but it's very compact. He can carry it under his arm. And it's something he can store away at home very conveniently. And he doesn't bring very much because he knows when he's camping with me, I've pretty much got the bases covered. He knows that I'm going to be the campground host. When the nieces and nephews get together, when we turn this into a big family thing, they can always look to the Uncle Skip to make sure that everything is in place. All the menus are prepared, the food is prepared, all the gear is brought to camp, including the big canopy that I just recently bought. So I've got it all together. Some people will serve, like I say, as the campground host like myself. How much you bring depends on, number one, your vehicle compartment space. Not everybody has pickup trucks like you and I.
Right.
It depends on how much space you have in your vehicle. Some people may have a small vehicle, but they do bring a small pull-along trailer. I have seen folks load those little trailers up, maybe a little 8x8 trailer, and there's just enough room in there for everybody to pack their gear. And still, in the passenger compartments of the vehicle, everybody has a lot of room to stretch.
Right.
But it would be a horrible thought that if nobody had any room inside the vehicle, you're rubbing elbows with tents, with sleeping bags, with pillows, with knapsacks, and all kind of stuff. That's just not going to cut it.
Yep.
So
that's true.
You know, it all really depends on your availability to bring these items to camp. And depending upon the vehicle that you drive will determine how much gear that you do bring. Here's one of the important things, Daniel, that I want to talk about today as far as organization goes. I have 4 large plastic containers that house all of my gear. Everything that I am going to bring is going to be included in those containers, and I'm going to break them down here in just a moment to give you an idea how organized I am and how I am ready to go when it comes to loading up the gear and going to a campsite. Now, some of the items that are not included in these containers include my lanterns. I have 2 old Coleman lanterns. And Daniel, our friend Jim, up in Massachusetts, I got to show you the pictures. He uncovered some old Coleman lanterns, and he's refurbishing them.
Ooh.
Jim, I'll tell you what, my hat's off to you. I love those pictures you sent us, and I hope you don't mind. I do want to put them on Facebook and on the website down the road here when I have a little time to do that. But, you know, the fact that you found some old-time Coleman gear that we know still works to this very day. You know, I don't know if you plan on selling any of that stuff. If it were me, I guarantee you, I would just keep it. I would keep it not only as collector items, but I would probably walk into my garage and say, oh, let me see, I got about 20 lanterns here. I'll take this one to camp this week.
Oh, boy. I have to say, I do like the sound. My parents used to have a lantern like that when I was a kid.
Oh, yeah, that's
the sound and the smell of the gas and everything. Oh,
yeah.
It was camping. I'll give you that. There was a feel to it. There definitely was a feel. It was kind of overkill, I thought, but, you know, whatever.
And even on a cold night, you know, you've got the fire and you got the crackle and the pop of the fire combined with the hiss of those lanterns.
Yeah.
It is just so relaxing, Daniel. All right. And I guarantee you that beats this.
Oh, yeah.
This is sleepy time weather for you.
Oh, that is nice. I like that.
It may be nice to you, but I guarantee you when I go to camp and if I hear this hitting on my tent, I am going to be quite perturbed. I just hope that does not happen.
Yeah.
But, you know, hey, you never know when it comes to the weather. You never know when there's going to be a downpour. You never know when, you know, Mother Nature is going to wreak havoc on your camping trip. But, you know, we try not to think about those things. And, again, that's why I encourage everybody to use NOAA.gov, the National Oceanic Atmospheric and Administration website. Go there, punch in the city and the state and the area that you're going to be camping, and it will give you a 7-day forecast. So you can get a good idea, just like I did last month, as to whether you're going to postpone your trip or you're going to be good to go. Now, also, some of the items that I do not include in my containers will include tiki torches, camp fuel, the tent itself, because the tent, that comes into in a bag all by itself. My sleeping bag and cots, the cots are pretty big. If I'm going by myself, I just bring one cot. If I have a buddy coming along, I'm not going to make him sleep on the ground, especially this time of year. There was a time I did sleep on the ground, Daniel, and I paid for it big time for about 3 weeks later. My folding tables and, of course, my big pop-up canopy. Those are all too big to be put in those containers. But anyway, let's go over some of these items that I do carry. And again, I've got them broken down into 4 sections. Number 1, container number 1, the most important part, Daniel, is your kitchen supplies. These are items that you're going to utilize when it comes to preparing your food. And you're going to need, number 1, paper plates and napkins. Plastic forks, knives, and spoons. Daniel, paper towels is a must. Tell me you stock up on a lot of paper towels when
we have paper towels, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You can't go wrong with that. I mean, I try to bring as many as I can accommodate in my container, because you never know when there's going to be accidents. You never know when little bird's going to come flying by and doing his business on your table. If you're not protected under a canopy like I am. You're going to need dish soap and scouring pads. Your measuring cup, if you are creative, if you're a camp chef and you like to experiment a little bit, you're going to need something to measure your ingredients. Salt and pepper, other cooking ingredients, some oil, some vinegar, anything else that's going to help you along the way in preparing the food. Also, plastic storage bags, aluminum foil, and plastic wrap. Mm-hmm. You'd be surprised at how much you can put in one of those containers and still have a little bit of room.
When I was a kid, they had these little things. I think it was with Boy Scouts. Basically, they had this little kit, and you folded this tin together, and it opened up, and it was a plate, and then it had like forks, spoons, and knives in there, and like that was all you used. And after every meal, you just washed all that off and dried it, and that was it.
Some people still do that.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
It's really cool. It's really, if you're like, doing like our buddy Gary did, hiking the Appalachian Trail, I mean, that's the way to go, as compact as you can.
Sure.
You don't want to be lugging around a bunch of trash with you, but, but if you're just staying there, and there's a trash can in the vicinity, I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
That's easy. The paper plates, that's what we do. We always do the paper plates. Yeah, that's easy because we don't really like to wash dishes.
I've learned that lesson a long time ago.
Right.
It's worth it to go ahead and spend a couple bucks and, get you some decent-sized paper plates, some heavy-duty type, because if you're anybody like me, you do like to pile the food up on the plate. And if you got one of those flimsy paper plates, half your food may wind up on the ground. And then the raccoons and the squirrels are going to be eating your food, and that's something you don't want. In my second container here, I have stoves and heating supplies. Now, my portable camp stoves, I have been so used to those, Daniels. I've had these butane stoves. In fact, Coleman even makes the brand right now. They make this brand of butane stoves, and they're very attractive looking. And I also carry plenty of butane fuel that I put in my my container number 2, along with some 1-pound propane canisters. So that pretty much takes up container number 2. And again, the butane stoves are nice, but you've got to know of a place you can buy those canisters, because you can't get them anywhere. You just can't walk into a local hardware store. You can't walk into your local Walmart and expect them to have it. I was in our local Walmart last week looking for some containers in the camping supply aisle. I did see the Coleman stoves there. Mm-hmm. Very attractive, very nice, and in the right price range. But what good is the stoves if you don't have the fuel canisters to go with it? Mm-hmm. All right. So I carry about maybe 7 or 8 of those, and from what I have found, I get maybe 2 or 3 good meals out of one canister, which is about the size of a hairspray can.
Right.
And my third container, this is where I keep all of my cooking gear, my pots and pans, the pancake griddle. Oh, Pancake Mel, our friend, she would love Daniel. She would
oh boy,
break that out, and she would be in her glory. That woman makes the best tasting pancakes this side of the Mississippi, I swear. Coffee pot, coffee cups, washable dinner plates. We were just talking here, some cooking utensils. Definitely bring your grillware. If you don't already have some, you're going to need some, because sometime in the course of your camping venture, you are going to want to cook that steak on the grill. And you're probably going to utilize the grill that is at your campsite. And after you've taken the time to clean it, make sure you have a wire brush. You're going to want to use those large metal forks and spatulas. So make sure you have those available too. And that's what I carry in container number 3. In my 4th container, Daniel, this pretty much wraps it up. It's all my miscellaneous gear. I've got my hammer. I've got a set of wrenches, because you never know when you're going to do a lantern repair while you're out there. Mm-hmm. You never know when something is going to require a little bit of maintenance. So if you've got some tools that you're bringing along with you, that's the container you're going to find it in. Some other miscellaneous items in there will include maybe some clothesline rope. I can imagine, you probably string a clothesline between a couple trees up there. So, Deidre takes those big old baggy pants of yours and hangs them up and lets them dry out.
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
You got to have those that clothesline rope. It's a shame how you make that woman work when she's camping.
All right.
Yeah. You're off flying a kite while she's out chopping wood.
Oh boy.
Yeah, right.
Okay. I've been holding my tongue.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Guess what?
Here it comes, folks.
Guess what, Mr. Prepared? You forgot about toiletries, and I always forget about toiletries. Your toothbrush, your toothpaste, your shampoo, your soap. I always forget that, and thank God I have a wife that remembers, because I would not bring anything. I'm telling you, toiletries.
And you still make her work.
Well, that's her job.
Yeah.
But toiletries, don't forget those, because I always do.
Well,
actually, this time she forgot underwear, and we had to go buy some underwear.
A lot of times, some of those items will be packed in your little knapsack.
Yeah, usually you have a toiletry bag or something.
Sure, but you can always carry them in your boxes, in your miscellaneous container boxes.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, that's where I do keep some of those too. And those big old coffee cans, those are great for storing rolls of toilet paper. And, they've got a lid on them. It keeps them dry.
Mm-hmm.
So, you don't want to have that get soaked and wet while you're out there.
No, you don't.
Some tent stakes. And, if you carry a blow-up mattress and a pump, you can also store that item, in the container, too. You'd be surprised just how much space if you've got one of those large containers. And mine are fairly large. I'm going to have to take a picture of them, Daniel. And, and put them on Facebook here so everybody gets an idea. And probably I will do that maybe this weekend when the time comes for me to load my gear, so everybody gets an idea of just how much stuff I bring along. The one-man show when he's showing up at camp. It's time now for our featured campground of the week here on the Happy Camper Radio Show. I found a campground, Daniel, in the state of Washington, and believe it or not, their season begins tomorrow.
Ooh.
November the 4th, and it is Beckler River Campground, part of the Baker Snoqualmie National Forest. That's a tongue twister right there.
Yeah, probably an Indian name.
Their season begins actually tomorrow. And Daniel, this is one of the websites that I really enjoy viewing because this one has a lot of photographs. If you love the fall foliage, if you love the greenery, if you love the shade, this campground is for you. If you're visiting the state of Washington, maybe you live out there and you're looking for a great place to go camping, keep this place in mind and keep it on your list. All right. One of the things you need to know here is they do not have electrical hookups at their campsite.
Not me.
You'll find out sooner or later, Daniel. You'll probably invest in one of those little portable generators.
I've seen those.
Those whisper generators.
Yeah.
You don't want to have one like the one I have in my garage. If I fired that thing up, I would get thrown out of the campground real quick.
Yeah.
But this campground offers a lot. Standard sites accommodating tent and RV camping. Picnic tables, vault toilets, drinking water are provided. Check out their list of amenities and activities. They have a campground host there. Hiking, fishing, local firewood. Make sure you buy your firewood locally. Do not haul it into that area. Remember, don'tmovefirewood.org. And you can find that link on our website. They've got kayaking, river access, self-paid station, trash hookup, and one of my favorite activities, Daniel, wildlife viewing. So if you're looking for a place to go camping and you're out west in the state of Washington, consider Beckler River Campground, our featured campground of the week here on the Happy Camper Radio Show. And as always, if you have a campground that you would like Daniel and I to feature, by all means, give us a shout. Not like that.
No.
You can start by emailing me, Skip, S-K-I-P, at happycamperradio.com, or
Daniel at happycamperradio.com.
let us know what campground you've been to and why you were so excited about it, and we'll feature it here on the show. Daniel, it's been good seeing you again.
Yep.
And I know that time is getting very, very close for you to deliver the mail. I wish you were on my mail route. I really do, because
your
I know you're
mailman's
going to
not
be
bad.
lifting those big boxes,
I am.
and the big boxes carry all the goodies,
It does.
and you can deliver them to my door and not somebody else's.
Okay.
But anyway, hey, it's good seeing you again. We'll be talking to you next week. Don't forget, you catch us online anytime at www.happycamperradio.com. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at Camp Talker, and add us to your circles on Google+. The Happy Camper Radio Show is a presentation of Skip Huber Productions. I'm Skip. I'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye, everybody.